Hi, I'm Becca. Welcome to my channel. So today's class is a Sun Salutation A modified class, just to get you started on some of the basics. So after this class, you should have some of the basics of a Vinyasa flow down so that you can walk into any Vinyasa yoga class and sort of know what they're talking about. Let's get started. So let's begin in a comfortable seat. So you can take either a half lotus or just a cross-legged position, or you can sit on your knees, whatever's comfortable for you. And then ground your roots into the mat, find a long spine, and then you can rest your hands on the lap, palms facing up or down. Either way, whatever makes you feel most comfortable. And then just begin to focus on your breath. Take a couple of deep breaths in through the nose, feeling the chest expand, and then exhaling through the nose, feeling the chest come back down. And then let's try to keep an even inhale and even exhale with our breath. So I'm going to guide us through 2 breath cycles where I'll count for you so that we'll have an even inhale to an even exhale. So go ahead and take a breath to prepare, and then exhale, and then inhale for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if that rhythm feels good, go ahead and keep that. Otherwise, you might find that your breath is a little bit longer, so maybe you're at like a 5 count or maybe a 3. But throughout this practice, I'm going to guide the inhales and the exhales because Vinyasa is breath to movement. So try to find that even count with your inhales and exhales as we go through the practice. So we'll begin with a very small arm exercise so you can practice that breathing. So with the palms facing down on the knees, let's then flip them, palms face up, and then inhale, arms up, palms meet, gaze follows, and then exhale, pull it in through the heart center. Let's do that 2 more times, keeping in mind your breath. Inhale, arms up, all the way up to the palms meeting, and then exhale, pulling into the heart. Last one, scooping up the air. Once they touch, exhale, bring it in through heart center. Okay, now let's turn to our tabletop position. So you're coming to all 4s. And then here you want to make sure that you have wide fingers so that you have like a really firm kind of grounded grip here. Knees are directly under the hips, wrists are directly under the shoulders, and just a few cat-cows to open up our spine. So let's drop the belly. Inhale, gaze comes forward, chest comes forward. Exhale, we push away, rounding through the back, dropping the chin. Inhale to our cow. Exhale, cat, pushing away so that we're rounding and doming through the back. Inhale, chest comes forward, collarbone widens. Exhale, rounding out, angry cat. Take a couple more of these on your own pace with that breath that we just found. Might feel good to do a couple of other side movements with the hips. Maybe just play around with some different movement here as we get the spine awake. Now we're going to do a couple of planks. So you might find you want to move your fingers out just a little bit. Otherwise, right where you are, try tucking the toes, and then we're just lifting the knees. So what we want to make sure we have here is firm grounding so that our hands, again, are directly under our shoulders so that we're pushing away. So make sure you're not dumping in, pushing away like this. Okay? And then let's exhale, drop the knees again. Hold here for a second. And now let's come back up into plank, this time looking at the lower part of the body. So we've got strong legs. Notice that I'm not dumping down too much in my hips, but my hips are kind of lifted. So I've got this like strong lifted belly, hardened core, strong out of the arms, pushing away from the mat. Everything is hard and like holding here, okay? One more breath. Exhale, drop to the knees again. And then let's just push back to a quick little child's pose. Toes touch, knees are wide. Booty comes down on the heels, drop the head. And this is a great pose that you can come back to at any point if you want a rest. Let's come back through our tabletop. And now we're going to tuck into our first down dog of this practice. So just tuck your toes again like we were going towards the plank, but this time we're going to push all the way up into our downward facing dog. So this should look like an A shape. And we can have a slight bend in the knees. Heels are coming towards the mat. And then pushing for a straight line from wrists all the way through the shoulders, all the way to the hips. And then this is our first one, so feel free to play with some movement. You can walk the knees out, maybe sway the hips from side to side, starting to opening the side body. And then eventually coming into some stillness, and then finding a gazing spot in between the knees or thighs. Maybe there's a wall behind you, whatever space that is. Can you find something to gaze at? And we'll come back to that as we're in our down dogs. Now, gaze forward towards the hands, and then walk the feet up towards the hands, and your feet are about hip width distance, and then I want you to exhale, forward fold. And then here in this forward fold, make sure your head is relaxed, knees are bent, we're still warming up. And then let's inhale, straighten the legs without locking out the knees. Hands slide up the shins, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, release, fold again. And then inhale, reverse your swan dive all the way up. Hands come up above the head, just like in seated. And then exhale, bring them heart center. Now, let's find our Tadasana, our mountain pose. And we're moving through a few half sun A's before we really move into the actual sun A that we're moving into. So let's bring our toes together, heels slightly apart, and then hands to heart center. You also have the option to keep your feet hip width distance, so find what's comfortable for you. And then we can also do palms facing forward, hands heart center, whichever feels good to you right now. And then I want you to focus on your feet. Feel the edge of your feet, the outside edge touching the mat, your toes digging into the mat and your heels, all four corners grounding down. And then coming up through the body, the knees should be slightly bent, not locked out. The pelvis should be neutral, so not pushing backwards or tucking under. Just that neutral, allowing for the natural curve of the lower back. And then a slight engagement of the core. Shoulders coming down and back. Gaze is just ahead of you, maybe like 6 feet. Take a couple of breaths here. And this is a great place to set an intention for your class. So if you have an intention, you can set it. Otherwise, I would like our intention to just be ready to learn something new. So we are here being present on our mat, ready to learn something new, ready to dive into the foundations of Vinyasa so that we can prepare for a lifetime, hopefully, of yoga. Take 2 more breaths here. And let's revisit our breath just like we did when seated. So right where we are, drop the hands down. Inhale the arms up, the gaze follows. Exhale, bring the hands in through heart center. And again, keep it sweeping movement. Inhale, arms up, keeping the core engaged. Exhale, bring it in. Last one, inhale, arms up. Exhale, bring it into the center. Pause here. Now we're moving through 3 half sun A's. So we're going to add a couple of movements. Inhale the arms up. Now exhale, you're going to forward fold, swan dive all the way down. Slight bend in the knees, dropping the head. And again, inhale, halfway lift. Hands come up the shins, straight back, gazing straight down. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse, palms facing up, all the way up to the sky. Find that Tadasana body, and then exhale, bring it in. 1 breath here. And again, inhale, arms up. Exhale, sweeping downward to your fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding again, relaxing the head. Inhale, reverse, standing tall. Engaging the core here, neutral pelvis. Exhale, pull it in. Let's do one more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, sweeping down to the fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold again. And inhale, reverse. And exhale, heart center. Pause here. Begin to feel the blood moving through your body. You should begin feeling a little bit warm here. And now we're going to move through 3 modified Sun Salutation A's. So this really, we're just adding bit by bit here. So from your Tadasana, again, inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins or the mat. Now exhale, step the left or right foot back, and then the left to meet it. Now you're in that plank that we had earlier in class. So pause here, find that plank, adjust your hands and feet, and then when you're ready, exhale, drop the knees right where they are. And now we're gonna untuck the toes, and then from this plank, keeping the elbows in towards the body, chaturanga all the way down to the floor. Now we're supported here. Tops of the feet are on the mat, hands are directly under the shoulders. And then inhale, baby cobra, just a slight lift of the chest. Exhale, release back down. 2 more. So inhale, baby cobra, pushing into the ground with the tops of the feet. Exhale, release. Last one, inhale, baby cobra. Use your back muscles. Can you lift your hands? Woo! Oh, exhale, release. Now tucking the toes and then knees firmly planted into the mat. Coming back up to that modified plank with the knees on the mat. Then exhale, lift the knees, come into your downward facing dog. Pause here, find your 4 points. You should be having weight into the mat with your toes, your heels if they touch, otherwise heels are going towards the mat. Your fingers should be pushing into the mat. Your head should be gazing, again, find that spot in between the knees or thighs. 2 more breaths. Now gaze forward on an inhale, walk your feet up to meet the hands, and then exhale, forward fold. Again, inhale, half lift, hands to shins, flat back. Exhale, find your fold again. And then inhale, reverse, rising all the way up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Take a moment to pause. Revisit your intention. Check in with your breath, check in with your body. Now, let's move through 2 more modified Sun Salutation A's. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, find your fold. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins or mat. Exhale, plant the hands, this time left foot back, then right meet, so you're landing in your plank. And then drop the knees, untuck the toes. On an exhale, elbows in, chaturanga all the way to the floor. With the toes untucked, tops of the feet on the mat, hands under shoulders. Inhale, baby cobra, partway lift. Exhale, release down. Again, inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, release. And on the 3rd one, inhale, can you float the hands? Push into the tops of the feet using the back muscles. Exhale, release the hands and head back down. Tuck the toes with the knees planted. Inhale, your modified plank. Exhale, lift into the downward facing dog. Adjust your feet if need be. Find your hand placement. Find your gaze. Take 2 full breaths here. Use this as a resting pose to come back to your breath. Find your hands with your gaze. Walk forward with the feet. On an inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, find your half lift. Exhale, return to your fold. Inhale, reverse, palms come all the way up to rise. Exhale, hands, heart center. Pause again before our final Sun A. And our last flow. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift, long spine, flat neck. Exhale, fold again. Planting the hands, stepping back with the right, then the left, finding your plank, and then dropping the knees. Untuck the toes as you lower. Exhale, chaturanga all the way to the floor. And then pushing into the mat with the tops of the feet. Inhale, use the back muscles, baby cobra. Exhale, release everything down. 2 more. Inhale, pushing up, shoulders squeeze together. Exhale, release. And again, 3rd one. Inhale, can you lift the hands? Floaty, floaty. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes, find your knees grounded, elbows stay in as you lift. This is where you'll build strength, a lot of this. And then tuck the toes, booty rises, downward facing dog. Hold for 3 breaths. Find that gazing point in between the knees or in between the thighs. And then to complete this Sun A, we're actually going to just find a gaze in between the hands and then walk the feet forward, bending the knees a lot, coming down to our knees, cross your ankles, and then we're just going to sit back, flip your hair, and then bring the feet forward. So those are your 3 modified sun salutations. And now we're just going to take a little bit of a cool down to finish up the class. So find seated staff pose. This should feel like your Tadasana, just bent in half. So act like your feet are on the floor, toes are facing you, engaged legs, tall spine. And just take a moment here to find your breath again, that even inhale, even exhale. And then let's inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Try to keep the back straight. So wherever your hands land, whether they grab the feet or the toes, maybe the ankles, might just be here on the shins, whatever is fine. But let's keep a flat back and let's hold that for 3 breaths. You should really feel that engaging the hamstrings. Your belly is probably naturally engaged. And then on an exhale, after 3 of your breaths, it's probably been 3, I've been talking, let's just release everything. Don't worry about this one, what it looks like. Let the feet flop, let the knees bend a little. Just fold forward and really relax and enjoy. We'll hold here for about 3 more breaths. And then slowly roll up. And then you might need to scoot a little. And then with the knees bent, roll all the way down on your back. And then finish off our practice, dynamic moving bridges. So find your feet planted on the ground. You should be able to just slightly touch your heels with your fingertips so they're closer together and about hip width distance. So palm on an inhale, we lift at a time as we lift the arms up overhead. And then we tap our fingers as our pelvis comes to its height, and then exhale all the way back down. Pelvis, fingers touching. 2 more. Taking your time, feeling the strength in your thighs and then your hamstrings. Everything should be firing, even the glutes. Exhaling all the way down. Last one. One vertebrae at a time, arms nice and controlled. Tapping the back of the fingertips to the top of the mat. Squeeze the legs together. Exhale. Come down. And then from here, let's just rest the hands on the belly and then let the feet come a little bit wider than your mat and then just knock your knees together. And if this doesn't feel good, you might want to do windshield wiper knees. This always feels very nice. Release your back. And then eventually find some stillness. Again, you might need to adjust so that you plop out for your Shavasana. So here, take up as much space as you need to, as much as you can. Completely relax the hands and the feet, letting the feet flop open, letting the fingers smack over the hands. And let that breath go. Natural breath rhythm. And just observe how you feel. Letting the body wind down and completely soak in this practice for the next few minutes. Begin to bring your awareness back into the space by taking a deep breath first and then exhaling. Begin to maybe wiggle your toes with fingers followed by ankles and wrists. Stretching the arms overhead. And then maybe tucking the knees into the chest. And then rolling over to either side into a fetal position. And then eventually pushing yourself up into a seat. Meet me for a quick meditation. So again, find a comfortable seat wherever you can stay for just a few minutes, whether that's cross-legged or on your knees. We just want to have an elevated and elongated spine. So for this meditation, go ahead and relax your eyes closed. Bring your hands to your lap. Palms can be facing down to feel more grounded, or palms can be facing up to receive. And just take a moment to observe your breath. Can you notice the air as it's passing through the nostrils? Is it warm or cool? Can you observe the air as it goes down the throat, filling up the lungs? Notice the widening of the ribs, the expansion of the chest. Notice the belly rising as you inhale and falling as you exhale. Continue to focus on the breath, not manipulating it, not judging it, just simply using it as a concentration for your awareness. As thoughts pop up, don't judge them, don't try to control them, just notice them and then come back to breath awareness. Again, noticing how the breath feels in the nostrils, in the throat. And then noticing how it feels filling up the lungs. And then with one last inhale through the nose, the arms lift up again. Palms touch. Exhale, pulling it in through heart center. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you so much for coming to class today. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so much for joining me here. I am so honored to just share the yoga path and my experience with others. And I would love to know what you want and what you think. So if you can please subscribe, that's super helpful to get videos out to more people. And comment below, let me know how you liked this class and let me know what other classes you'd like to see. I have lots of things in store for you. So I'm really excited to bring that to you, but thank you so much for joining me and have an awesome day.